Hello and welcome back to Shak's Talks. I'm Shakti, and so far on this channel, I've been researching and discussing anomalous phenomena with an emphasis on UFO, UAP history, events, and those who have been researching contact and abduction, and all of the different psychic and telepathic and consciousness studies tangents that kind of spider out from this whole core issue of like non-human intelligence. And it's been really fun. I've read over 30 books on this topic. I've watched many, many hours of interviews and documentaries and podcasts and just listened to people share their stories and experiences. And I thought maybe I would branch into doing interviews like the way so many other podcasters do. But I've been thinking about this for a little while and I've decided that I'm going to wrap up my UFO channel right here and right now today. Basically, I let myself sit with it for weeks and realized that once we get into the stories about what these beings are, I personally feel that the waters are too muddy to proceed with the amount of clarity that I would like to proceed with on this channel. And the reason I feel that way is mainly because we don't yet have a grasp on the nature of reality. And in order to make sense of non-human intelligence, whether it's coming to you internally via an out of body or a dream state or some other altered state and you're having some connection on another plane, or whether it's a physical experience that's happening in so-called physical matter reality. What we've learned from Tom Campbell and others is that in a way, all of these realities, they might be on something like a gradient, or they might be nested like Russian dolls, or we might be in a subset of a larger reality. And all of those things mean that there might not be that much separating us from non-human intelligence. When it all comes down to it, maybe it's true that we are all actually just consciousness and we are at a point in our human evolution where we're just starting to have more discussion around the contact that we've always had with non-human intelligence since the beginning of time of various kinds. And through the work of Diana Walsh-Pasulka and others who look at the religious side of it, Jacques Vallée, who looks at all of this through the lens of folklore, and so many others who have come to similar conclusions, we can easily see that what we're dealing with is something that many humans experience, but no one has been able to completely explain in a way that satisfies science and the modern Western mind. And maybe that's not important. Maybe that's not what needs to happen. But it is fun to think about and it's interesting to research and it's helpful to find a community that understands that these things are not just stories and they don't mean that you're crazy and they don't mean that there's something wrong with your brain if you have anomalous experiences. And it also doesn't necessarily mean that you're more special than anyone or that anything bad is going to happen to you because of this type of thing. It just means that this is part of life and some people experience it and others don't. And it feels good to come together in those experiences. But what I've noticed is that there's something about all spiritual, anomalous, and paranormal experiences. And what I've noticed is that they all are so personal. These experiences happen usually to an individual, and even if multiple witnesses are present for an experience and they feel some kind of bond because of that, oftentimes it's still an internal journey that is initiated as a result of that experience. So I think in my conclusion to this channel, what I want to suggest to you is that maybe these anomalous experiences are step one in a progression where the next step has more to do with connection to others and living in our bodies and in our lives in a more embodied way, where yes, we are searching for truth and knowledge. Yes, we are continuing to develop spiritually. Yes, we are staying practical and, keeping our heads in the right place, handling life, making good decisions, making good choices. But it doesn't just end with a fantastical awakening or spiritual experience or anomalous contact or anything like that. That's literally just the beginning. So that's what I'm thinking about all of this, because I've seen so many people make an entire career around their one experience, and then that seems to sour over time. I think it sours over time because there's a stagnation happening, because maybe they're not progressing beyond that initial call to action or adventure from the universe. Um, just some rambling thoughts, but basically, I've just gotten to a point where I want to keep expanding and growing myself, and I don't want to get stuck digging and digging and digging on this topic and until I hate it, because I love it and I find it so interesting. So I'm stopping while I'm ahead. I'm stopping now. I will continue to research and listen, and I will continue to pay attention to like what's happening in the Congress and what's happening around this policy and who's talking to who, and what information is coming out, because I think that stuff is very interesting. But I'm just going to hold it a little more loosely, and I'm going to focus on other things. And for me, the most exciting part about everything anomalous is our own individual power as infinite consciousness within a consciousness system that is reality, and all that we can do with that. So I kind of want to turn my focus back to the spiritual side of all of this, the energy work, the spiritual studies, the connection to the earth, the connection to other human beings, and how we can actually continue to evolve towards a more loving and beautiful reality for everyone. So maybe I'll do more shocks talks in that vein, like I have done in the psychic season, but maybe I'll take a break for a while and then think about what I want to do with this channel. Maybe I'll revamp the whole channel, because I can do it. I can do anything, and so can you. So, anyway, thank you so much for checking all of this out, being my friend, supporting me, indulging me, listening, watching, and all the things. It's been so fun. And I think it's going to be different from here on out. So maybe stay tuned if you want, or drop off if you're no longer interested. That's totally reasonable. All the links in all the past episodes have like the great people to follow. So, Richard Dolan is one of my top favorites. And the New Paradigm Institute is a great website to go to if you really want to get involved in the calls to action when it comes to like government and transparency. And exciting news, the New Paradigm Institute is also creating, I think it's called a it's a Global Disclosure Day. It's going to be October 20th, I believe. So get on their newsletter if you want to learn more about all that. But it's just cool. It's cool that they're doing that. I do think we're going to learn a lot more about this stuff as time goes on. And if I am doing anything on this channel, even just like more about the spiritual side of things, I'll be sure to update you on those exciting movements in reality around the UAP and UFO disclosure topic, because it's still cool. Okay, thanks. See you next time, maybe, or somewhere else, or in the larger consciousness system, or on the astral plane.